Well, he's probably my oldest friend, and we actually met in prep school up in Massachusetts, in Worcester Academy. We had a wonderful time acting together. We were kind of in a play called End as a Man, based in a southern prep school, military academy, and he was the kind of rebel, and I was the good guy, and we had a big fight on stage, and it was terrific. And we were close friends, and went on, spring break together. Went to Florida. We've been close ever since, and he's put me in a lot of his movies. I really appreciate his friendship in that way. So I probably wouldn't ever have been in a horror film if it hadn't been for Tom. So, but he became a screenwriter, and quite a good one. And I'd read all of his work. By that time, he was writing. I was living in Los Angeles nearby. And actually, when I came out to Los Angeles the first time, I was house sitting for him, and he was house sitting with my family's house in Mexico. So we kind of traded houses, and that's why I'm here too, because I picked up work and I was able to stay and work and be in Psycho 2, which was a great thrill to be able to work with him. But he had, through all the various scripts he had written, a couple of which were horror movies, it really impressed people. And I read the script at an early stage and realized this is a really, really good script, and particularly for a sequel, which was 22 years later. I mean, that's a long time, and have somebody come up with a script as good as that was quite magnificent, I felt. So I was very excited by the script, and then when Tom got a deal out of it, it was even more exciting to work with Richard Franklin, who was a wonderful director from Australia. This was his first big Hollywood movie, and the whole thing was just my first big Hollywood movies, as well as Tom's.
Was it a bit surreal, the fact that one of your old childhood friends
Yeah.
wrote the sequel to Psycho?
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea when we were in prep school together that would happen. We are in that scene where we drag the car out of the swamp and then open up the trunk and then react to it. Tom and I are both at the rear of the car there, so
Yeah.
we got to act together again, which was 20 years later after prep school. So it was a lot of fun. Terrific confidence, and he, like Hitchcock, he plotted his whole scenario out, all the shots. He knew what he wanted, and he worked to get it. I mean, it was very clear and very good direction. I mean, he knew exactly the visualization of the film before he even shot it, and that was the genius of Hitchcock. I think he knew exactly what he wanted. He had his vision, and then he fleshed it out in a very methodical and yet thorough way. And Richard was a very soft-spoken guy, but he was very smart, and he knew what he was doing. So I trusted him, and so did everybody else. And Tony got along with him great, and Tom got along with him great. Well, it was a thrill, because it was real finely crafted Hollywood filmmaking, and I was part of that process, and it was extraordinary because everybody was. I think the casting was quite good in the film, and I think the performances were fantastic, and the script bolstered these performances, and then the direction on top of that made it a very effective movie, very, very scary and very interesting. I mean, it's not just slasher film. It's a film that has psychological dimension, which makes it a classic now. And it's fascinating. I'm trying to figure out what's going on there and why people are doing what they're doing.
Right.
But it's always very compelling, and I think that process was everybody working in concert together and producing this exceptional movie, I think. Well, it just a consummate professional actor. I mean, he was, I admired his performance in Psycho 1 a great deal, but there was nothing about him that was off-putting. I mean, he was a very nice guy. He was quiet. He worked, you know, he didn't pull any tirades on the set or anything. And plus, I got introduced to him by Tom. And Tom was already, you know, had a relationship with him, a very good relationship, because he loved the script. And that was an easy thing because I came in as Tom's good friend and I was automatically accepted by him. And the scenes we did together were marvelous. I mean, we had, you know, we did it all in 1 or 2 takes each. There wasn't any big, there wasn't anything difficult about it. It was just all flowed very smoothly, and Richard was very happy with what we were doing, so it was a good experience. I used to hang out with her a little, you know, behind the scenes, and she seemed like a very nice girl, young girl from Canada. I mean, kind of fresh. I mean, this was her first big film, I think, the first lead. So there was a lot put on her because it's a difficult character to play. I mean, she was playing, you know, essentially the villain. So, you know, she's got to be believable as Tony's friend, and she's got to be you know, carry the movie in a sense. So she needed really good acting chops. And I think, you know, she rose to the occasion. I mean, it was a lot for her to take on, being so young, but I think she did an excellent job. Yeah, he's
such a wonderful
great
guy.
old guy from Kansas. I never forget first meeting him. You know, he came out of his trailer, he was eating a sandwich, and he said, "Hey, who are you?" And I said, "I'm your deputy. I'm Deputy Poole." And he goes, "Good to meet you." Give me a big hug, and you know, he's saying, "Okay, well, and we just started the relationship off right away as the 2 characters, and he kind of was springing into acting full blown from the head of Zeus in a way, because he was a farmer, I think, in Kansas before he was an actor, and he didn't become an actor till he was like 40 years old. So, you know, he loved to act, and he got in this film, and it was a thrill to work with him because he was a salt of the earth kind of guy, and a really fun guy to be working with. What I remember about it is that we shot it very quickly. And I think there was only 1 or 2 takes on that scene. So it wasn't like a moment in time that, you know, we had to shift to get it or whatever. But we rehearsed it, I know. We rehearsed it so the camera could move in at the right angle, and they had the floating cameras, and they had a couple of them, I think. And, you know, coming down the stairs, and Meg was, you know, I was mainly concerned with whether or not the blanks would go off in the gun, because you know, I'd never really shot a pistol before. When I was growing up in Texas on a ranch, I had some target practice with pistols, but you know, I was wondering whether that was going to work. So I was checking the gun really carefully and making sure that it was okay. But everything went like clockwork. It was just like, you know, very beautifully done, and we did a couple of takes and we were out of there. So, you know, it really works as the final surprise in Psycho 2, and then you have the added dimension in Psycho 2 of the shovel on the head, which is
just about
quite a surprise.
So how do you feel about that twist ending?
I loved it. I loved it. I mean, it's so out of the blue. You don't know what's going on. And it's like, whoa, you know, another real thrill in this film. So I think it works terrifically, and I think it's Tom wove it in beautifully in the plot, and I think it's a great shock.